This class, yeah, this one right here, grabs its balls, grabs my balls, and is the best class in Team Fortress 2. Now, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but beware, there are biases around today. I have covered 4 classes, and I personally love every character in this game, but the Demoman is something special. It has time wizarded away my time. I failed geometry in high school for the Demoman. Just kidding, I got a D, but I was able to give the metaphorical D to every player that stood against me. And when I was at my heyday, failing math classes from playing too much, I learned a very important lesson. If I paid better attention, I'd be able to hit more of those fat fucking pipes that deal 100 damage, so therefore I stand before you as a C student in geometry. All thanks to the Demoman. The demo has enlightened skill progression. Not only does he have insane relevance and power, the demo also has huge balls in huge supply. This and more when we talk about how, why, and is the Demoman the best class in Team Fortress 2. Okay, so we've established a bias, that's good. The next point of interest is a swift reminder of how I conduct business. We start with the class's casual viability, which is basically the shooting gallery. After that we move into their competitive potential, which is basically the getting shot gallery. Finally, I give a 1-minute recap of the game's dumbass game mode Man versus Machine because I enjoy having a 3-course meal. 3 strikes you're out. Factor of 3. Hoo-ha hee-hee. Alright, let me check my watch. Yep, it's time to talk some shit. Before I describe how to throw projectiles in many different ways, let's evaluate Demo's choices. Primary downside of the class number 1 out of 1, you have very few meaningful choices in your loadout selection. Of course, like anyone else, the Demo possesses a primary, a secondary, and a melee slot. Of these, you have insightful decisions such as, do I like bot or do I like club? What about other clubs? Primaries on Demoman is a question of whether you break out the standard stock grenade launcher or the fucking Heelys. Basically, all the grenade launchers present similar abilities and have little distinction outside of the fact that some are good and some are less good. Secondaries, the second primary slot on Demo, houses the Stickybomb launchers as well as shields. This is the crux of the class, separating Demoman into 2 different roles, either a melee-oriented Demo Knight playstyle or a competent class. Regardless of what you are doing, you pick up your setup and move into the public server interface. From here, you can begin to shit on face and instruct all the 2-hour playing, 5-hour old players about how powerful Dickoman can be. Casual matchmaking always represents 2 things. Firstly, the ability to disregard all defensive capabilities, and secondly, droves of people who can't aim. This is good because if you can aim on Demo, it's going to be Kill Farm Central, which gives you those big hits of dopamine. The class in general has deterring power, allowing you to section off parts of the map on the go. Feel like making this doorway have a fucking Looney Tunes anvil on it? Well good, just set up the sticky bomb trap and wait for an unsuspecting team of Nimrods. Additionally, in head-to-head combat, if you are a mighty unstoppable Chad who can point and click relatively well, you can absolutely demolish. Here is a visual indicator of how aiming on Demoman is. You can whiff literally 10 shots in a row, but hit the final 2 by coincidence and you're referred to as a pipe god. Interestingly, Demo is the strongest class in the game when you're taking strict numbers into account. The crux of that idea is that you can't guarantee you will hit all of the time, unless you're good, We'll talk more about being good in a second when I bring up the game mode that requires you be better than absolute bin tier, but improving on Demoman is artful. I say this as a biased Demo main who has spent long on this class. Prediction. It's a big skill. Essentially a system of guessing, but when refined by understanding the psychology of movement in this game, you can seemingly cheat and hit people that should be otherwise unhittabilistic. People have memed about the concept that Demoman takes no skill. Firstly, moron. Secondly, fuckface. Thirdly, wrong. Here's the score. Put sticks on the door, throw some pipes blindly out, kill the medic that's wandering about. That's the game plan. Basic, I know. But that is what is fun about the class. It's powerful and you get lucky all the time. Things will happen that impact you and your setup, but it all seems to work out. Plus, it makes you look like you know what you're doing. Look at this clip. I join the server, instantly walk in, throw bombs over a wall, get lucky crits, and I win the game. Arrogance, my name is me, but I don't care, I won the game, bitch. The class can pull out just such a surprise game win factor, just due to the pinball nature of the weapons, the way the enemies move, the fact that Brins are in short supply, I wrote Brins instead of brains in my script, proves how strong my thinker is. Additionally, if you feel like being a Mimi player, the alternative playstyle of Demo Knight sees you equip the shield and sword and get to disregard every single detail about the game. Right click, left click, same controls, but now you're the projectile. Launch yourself into combat, get mowed in the ass by heavy, die, switch to stickies, become competent once again. It's a great cycle. This game is a lot of fun, or rather was once fun. Before moving on, quick tangent everyone knows about, but Valve, please fix your game. It's a little rough around the edges currently. Look at this example here, Exhibit A. Besides me and Lord of the Bombs, otherwise known known as me as well, there is no one else in this server that's real. That's like after 10 games in a row where I'm trying to collect footage, but hey, that's fine, you do you, Valve. Why hire anybody? Let's move on from this cesspool that is casual and talk about competitive Demoman. Now, I am greatly familiar with this perspective compared to the other classes I've covered because I've spent many an evening filling this role for numerous competitive teams. Demoman is all about burst damage. Surprise people with sudden damage, which either makes them an easy pick for your more consistent teammates or simply force them to leave the immediate engagement. You are a space maker, a space defender, and the highest damage output character in the competitive game, but this comes with a caveat. People will do their best to make their mole impression and tunnel into your ass at all impasses. This is a difficult thing to avoid, so you need to watch out for spies and snipers all the time. Additionally, you spend almost all your time with the medic and heavy, so you need to survive for their sakes. The medic has a lot of chips placed on your survival, and the heavy is fat and enjoys having something there that draws a lot of enemy fire. Plus, Demo and Heavy really synergize together well, with the Demo pulling out a lot of damage at a distance and the Heavy having consistent up-close damage. There's little distinction between the two major competitive formats with Demo, those of course being 9v9 and 6v6. The Demo sits with the combo classes and shoots bombs. You need to have a handle on mobility far more in 6v6, with sticky jumping, and in general you have to be far more on the ball in 6s, otherwise the two very balanced and definitely not best class in Team Fortress 2 will have a field day with your butt cheeks. Shooting pipes to deny space, getting massive damage, and utterly ruining pushes is the comp Demo experience. Bombing medics, getting frags, being healed more often than everyone else. Man, I miss playing TF2, fuck. Finally, let's talk about Demo in Mann vs. Machine. Okay, well, it's busted as shit. Well, let's get to the next section. That was fun. Okay, well, it's quite possibly the best class in the game at this format. And why is that, you might ask? Well, I don't know. Maybe because there are these bots who progress forward very slowly on clearly defined paths, allowing you to deal 5,000 damage in 1 second, which unless it's something ridiculously big, it will die instantly. So you automatically bypass all the challenge these uber medic bots bring, and you just don't give a shit about anything. Hell, you don't even need any defense either. You can just sit behind a pipe, shoot pipe, score kills, win game, get nothing. Okay, easy ass game mode down, and with that, that's the 3 formats covered. Okay, so fun fact, my script ending literally deleted, so here's a little unfiltered Seer to be angry about. By the time I am vocally recording this, it'll not even sound like I'm angry, but believe me, I am greatly pissed off. Therefore, here is the video conclusion I wrote from memory real quick. Before I end, I'll reintroduce the topic of the 4 seats. They represent my top 4 classes, which I will pit against each other once I have finished my complete evaluation. Currently, Soldier resides alone, but not for much longer. There is nowhere else I would rather place the Demo than in this here seat. Let's go over some of the perks. The Demoman possesses the highest damage potential in the game, while being the backbone behind your team's offense and defense. Traditionally being a shot caller in competitive formats due to your centralized position, with your success dictating how others play. With few counters outside of Gremlin Bastard, you're a main contender for the best DPS character. Additionally, he's probably the best character in Man vs. Machine, which means little to be honest, but it's part of the race, so in all ways, I have nothing bad to say. So into this share comes my favorite class, leaving us with 4 more classes total, 2 more seats, and lots more swearing. Especially if my script feels like erasing itself again. I am very pissed you cannot tell that, but I typed this furiously like 45 hours ago. In any event, it is starting to get cold outside, so how about we start heating things up? This class is fucking trash.